Well, I got sent to boot camp. Oh wait, that's just Judy's house. It's now 2006, I'm 17 and I'm a junior in high school. My sister's gone and she's back living with my mom full time, and I'm still living here with my aunt and my uncle and my cousins. And my aunt was basically like, yeah, you can't talk to your sister anymore, you can't talk to your mom anymore, you can't talk to any of those people, because she was just like petty like that. And we went to the same school, but it was like, oh, if you go to school and you talk to her, you're gonna be in big trouble. If I hear you were talking to your sister, you're gonna be in big trouble. So pretty much he was like, stay away from my sister at all times. So that's what I pretty much did. But nothing could compare to how petty my aunt was about to get in this house. Welcome to boot camp. My aunt was just really mean. My mom and Bobby were outwardly mean. They were loud and crazy, but we all knew that. But my aunt really just liked to play mind games. She just loved saying shit as much as she could. All the most passive-aggressive statements she could ever think of, she just wanted to say it. You're gonna be just like your mother. And her favorite thing in this house was just to pit people against each other. She just wanted people to be pitted against each other, which was obviously the most unhealthy environment you could ever grow up in, when everybody in the whole house is going at each other pretty much every single day. But she like reveled in it. It was just so fucking weird. And I think the biggest problem was that she had gotten injured at work like a long time ago. She worked at a factory and then got injured, and then she was just waiting on a settlement of big money. She always talked about she was gonna get a lot of money. She just waiting for the settlement to come in. And I think she just was always pissed because she wasn't doing anything. She's sitting around the house all day living on disability or whatever, waiting for her settlement check. I don't even know if it ever came, to be honest. And she's taking out all of her insecurities out on us. She just can't do anything, so she's like, well, how can I fuck with these kids as much as possible and make them feel as small as I feel? And she had no problem doing that. It was like every single time you'd walk around the corner, you'd get in trouble for doing literally anything. And then there was periods of time where she would just like lock herself in the closet. She would just go in her bedroom, go in the closet, and just lock herself in there. She had like a little mini fridge in there where she would have her Dr. Pepper, she'd have her lemon drops, and of course her pain pills. You can't forget about her pain pills, because when she would lock herself in there, we would think like, what the hell is she doing? Like, are we really that bad that she's gotta go lock herself in the closet for days on end because we're like so bad that she can't even be around us at all? And then we realized when we get older, oh, she was doped up on pain pills. Of course she was. So she was just doped up on pain pills, living in the closet for days, and then she would come out of the closet and be like pissed off at us like we were doing something wrong. It was like, dude, you're the one that locked yourself in the closet as a 60-year-old woman. Like, what the fuck are you doing, you crazy bitch? And then we would bring this up to our other aunt, Stacy, and be like, Stacy, Judy's locking herself in the closet and, you know, taking all these lemon drops and, you know, Dr. Pepper's in there and she's not coming out for days. Like, what's she doing? And she's like, oh, that's mom. Don't even worry about that. She does that shit all the time. She used to do that shit with us. And then she would tell us a story about how Judy would like lock herself in the room and then like sneak out the window and then go somewhere, and then come back later on and then sneak back through the window and then come out of the room and be like, why was somebody looking for me? You didn't even know I was not even here. It was like, dude, you are a fucking psychopath, bro. And then she would force us to like get up and go to church every single Sunday and Wednesday, but it's not like we disliked going to church. It was like whatever, but it's not like she went to church. She didn't go up and go to church. She just made us go to church so that she could look good for the rest of the family. So, you know, we're not being sent to church, so she might look bad. So she's got to wake us up and we get to send to church, but she can't go to church with us, of course. She's got to stay home and stay doped up on her pain pills. But God forbid that one of us didn't want to wake up that morning and go to church because it's the weekend and we're like, hey, maybe we want to stay home today. And she's like, oh, you want to stay home? We're like, you're going to lose the car. You're going to lose this. You're going to lose that. You're grounded. And just like with my sister and my mom and all these people, she was like, you can't talk to these certain people at church, because this whole situation happened with one of her kids and one of these other people at church that we went to church with. And she was like, you can't ever talk to those people at church. And if you get caught talking to them, you're going to be in trouble. So then we go to church and she would say that every week, don't talk to those people. And then we come home from church and she'd be like, did you talk to those people at church? Did you talk to those people at church? You're gonna be in real big trouble. It's like, dude. Or she would even say, I heard you were talking to those people. It's like, dude, why don't you get off your fucking lazy ass and come to church and find out who we're talking to? Like, it's pretty fucked up. You send us to church and then say who we can and can't talk to while we're at the church. You're like, what the hell? And it's actually really ironic at this church, because I remember this church specifically awarded my aunt Mother of the Year at some point. Like, whatever year that we had all of us there, as me, my sister, and all three of my cousins, she got awarded Mother of the Year. And we're sitting back there looking like, wow, I cannot believe she's actually winning Mother of the Year right now. If they only knew what the fuck was going on behind closed doors, she wouldn't be getting any award right now. This is fucked up. But obviously we're not going to say anything at church like, hey, she's actually really mean, because even then, like, when you say, oh, we're getting disciplined or we're getting screamed at or hit with the belt or whatever, nobody really cares. They're like, oh, well, that's discipline. You just want to be a fucking degenerate. You want to go out in the streets and do all this fucked up shit, and she doesn't want you to do that, you know. We can't just be like, you know, saying anything that's actually real. So we just have to go there. Oh my God, she did it. She's such a great mother. It's like, such a horse shit. And for some reason, my aunt really just wanted us all to go to the military. She was like, you know, the military will straighten you out. We have to go to the military because of all this fucked up shit. It's like, you could treat us better and then we might not be so fucked up. But my aunt pretty much thought we were in the military or something because it was like we were living at boot camp and she was the drill sergeant. We'd have like a shirt in the floor or a shirt in the closet or something's out of place or something's not to her liking. It's not perfect, so it's all got to get destroyed. So she'd come in and see something. She would just be looking for something. She literally comes in there looking for something to be mad about, finds something to be mad about, and just destroys the whole fucking room, pulls out every single drawer, throws it all over the floor, throws the TV on the ground, everything in the closet's got to come out, and then she'd believe him like, now clean it up the right way. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Why don't you fucking clean it up, you old hag? Like, what the hell? I should just fucking leave right now. Like, dude, the shit that I was feeling back in those days just watching her do all this shit, I'm like, dude, how is this actually real? Like, are you really like this? Or am I just like such a fucked up kid that I have to be treated like this to straighten me out? And it's not like any of us were really that dirty. We were all pretty clean. Like every single day, somebody would have to clean the dishes. You know, there was like a rotating schedule of who cleaned what. And that was fine. Every weekend we'd have to clean our rooms, whatever. Like all that was normal. But it was like, if it wasn't, I mean, literally perfect, if the dust wasn't dusted perfectly on the baseboards, it was like a fucking huge fight. And it was like, well, Judy, you don't work all day and you're living on disability. Why don't you get your fucking ass up and clean the fucking baseboards while we're at school learning? But while we're at school learning, she's at home trying to think of ways she can mentally torture us for the rest of the night when we come back home. There were some nights she would literally stand in front of our doorway and just be talking about how hell was gonna be when we would go to sleep. Like we'd all be trying to sleep in one of our bedrooms and she'd be in the doorway like saying, well, you know, Mario, hell's gonna be a bad place and hell has fire everywhere and you're gonna be burning forever and there's spiders and snakes and all this shit crawling all over you and you're just gonna be burning forever, but you never die. It's just like that forever. Anyways, good night. I hope you sleep well. And then she would just go to sleep and leave us like that. It's like, bitch, I'm trying to go to sleep. What the hell are you trying to do to me? Like, you trying to give me nightmares or what the fuck? And that was just like standard fucking night with Judy. Why would she do that? Who knows? Some people would probably be like, oh, she's trying to scare the shit out of you. Yeah, she is. And it's not good the way she's doing it, you know? It's like, why don't you go look in the mirror, bitch, and you tell me how hell's gonna be. Satan is your daddy. I remember a story so absurd, like it's hard to even believe, but I'll never forget it. It was such an insane night. I was like, wow, now this is fucking next level shit right here. Because Judy just really loved to humiliate you. It was like she wanted to make you look stupid, but also in front of everybody, so everybody else also knew how stupid you were. So we were at school one day, and this is what I mean when I'd say, like, we'd be at school trying to learn, and she'd be at home trying to figure out how to torment us all night. And this one day in particular, we were at school. She's at home trying to figure out what the fuck she can do to fuck with us. We get off the bus, we come home, and I remember it being a particularly decent day. It was like, oh, it was nice out, whatever, you know, we're hoping Judy's in a good mood. And then we walk in and we go to the kitchen and we're sitting around the table and we're eating our cosmic brownie snack. We see Judy walk in from the other room and she comes in with a box. And she's like, well, kids, tonight we're gonna be eating Chinese cuisine. And if you don't wanna eat it, if you don't like it, then you can just wear this big diaper because you're a big fucking baby. And then she leaves this big box of adult diapers on the kitchen table. We're like, bro, no way she's actually doing this shit right now. We're all picky eaters. We don't really eat Chinese food, and it's not like I mean chicken and rice. I mean like Chinese cuisine. It looked like octopus and just like random shit and noodles like in this bowl of shit. And but we hadn't had the Chinese food yet. She didn't actually have the Chinese food in front of us yet. So we were like almost thinking she was bluffing. We're like, okay, well, obviously that's not gonna happen. She's just turned into a bitch and just must be having a bad day or something. So we're just gonna, you know, whatever, Judy, we're gonna eat our snack, haha. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go get dinner. So she leaves. Then an hour goes by or so, and then she comes back with all the Chinese food, this big ass bag of Chinese food. Then she comes into the kitchen, puts it on the table, and then starts serving it up. And it just looks fucking nasty. Like even now, if I saw that shit, I'd be like, oh, who the fuck wants that? It's not like Panda Express. It's like Chinese cuisine. It looked fucking disgusting, and we're all like teenagers. We're like, oh, we don't want to eat that shit. That looks gross. We never even had this before. And it's not like our aunt is trying to be nice and treat us to Chinese like, oh, we love Chinese. We want some sushi. We want some, you know, whatever. She's just trying to torment us because she knows we're not going to want the fucking Chinese food. She knows she's going to waste her money because we're not going to eat the fucking food. And it's like, I understand if you want your kids to try new food, that's one thing. But to be like, if you don't want to eat this food, you got to wear a diaper is like so fucked up. I'm not going to describe all the details of what happened that night because it's kind of fucked up. My aunt literally started taking pictures. She was like, oh, look at you, you big babies. You don't want to eat the Chinese food. And then one of them had to put on a diaper, and then one of them was getting beat with a belt and screamed at because they didn't want to eat the shit while they were literally getting pictures taken of them. It was like, holy shit, this is actually crazy, man. And I don't even want to think about it really. Actually, I don't want to talk about it anymore because it just kind of pisses me off thinking about like a 60-year-old woman literally doing this to like 4 teenage boys, and then our Uncle Junior's just sitting there like a little bitch. This is a great idea to teach our boys. This is a great idea to freaking raise kids. Like, what the fuck? And it's not like she's eating the Chinese food. It's not like even that she wants the Chinese food. It's not like she wants it and she's gonna eat it. It's not like she's like, hey guys, I want the Chinese food and then I want you guys to learn how to eat it. It's like, no, she don't even eat. She's like a 4 foot, 38 pound little fucking hag of an old lady. She don't eat. The only thing she's eating are pain pills, so she's never even hungry anyway. So it's like, what's the whole purpose of this other than just to humiliate us in front of everybody? And that's what she did. She accomplished it. It was a fucked up night. But the most fucked up thing about it is that was like one of the 1,500 days that I lived there until I got kicked out. It's now August 2007. It's finally my senior year and the last year of high school. What the fuck am I gonna do after I graduate? I have no idea, but it's pretty exciting going into senior year. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty stoked until I got kicked out. One day my cousin and I are like, we're gonna go to church. It was a Sunday night or a Wednesday night, so not everybody was going to that service. We were just forced to go to the Sunday morning service where everybody was at, but Sunday night and Wednesday night, it's kind of whatever. But me and my cousin were like, all right, well, we're gonna go. So I drove up to the church and we go to church, and then we come back from the church, and I can still remember this whole night so vividly. Like, we leave the church, and I was probably like a quarter mile away from the church down the road, and I turn on the Blink-182 song, I Miss You. My cousin sings the Mark Hoppus parts, I sing the Tom DeLonge parts, of course, and then it was just a good fucking night. We were like, wow, this is a good-ass vibe. The windows are down, we're blasting this fucking music, the weather's on point. So we get back home, and we walk in the door, and Judy is already on a rampage. She's like, somebody stole $5 out of my wallet, and I want it back. Who stole $5 from my wallet? And one thing I learned over the years after getting older is that people that are on pain pills and drugs and all this shit get paranoid about shit. They start missing shit. And then I realized, the snack cakes and all the shit that always became up missing, she was just probably paranoid that shit was missing, and she spent it or ate it or did something on her own, and she blamed us for it. Because like my mom and Bobby, I saw newspaper articles when I was doing this whole thing. They would be calling the cops all the time about people stealing prescription pills out of their car, or a ring out of their car, or somebody stole something out of their car. And it's like, did they really steal it out of your car, or you just fucked up and you sold it, or you lost it, or something happened to it? And that's probably what was going on here. My aunt's all fucked up on drugs, and she probably either spent the $5, put it in the offering plate, or gave it to one of us or some point. Like, nobody stole $5 from her. Like, nobody in this house would have ever went into her purse and stole $5. That's just a fact. And she's just on this rampage. Somebody stole $5. And at this point, I'm just like so fed up with this shit. I'm like, dude, I can't deal. This is like, I'm like 3 years into this house now, and it's just every day is like some bullshit. And I'm like, I cannot deal with this shit no more. And then she's just really in my face, just like up in my grill. Somebody stole my $5. I want my $5. So then I just say like, get the fuck out of my face. And then she's like stunned that I'm even saying that. She can't believe it. So she just slaps the shit out of me. Whoops. Just like I slapped that microphone. She just, let me get that mic in place. There we go, we're good. She slaps the shit out of me, and she's like, I want you out of my house. Get out of my house right now. I never want to see you again. Because I had just turned 18 like a few weeks ago, and we're just now starting school. Like the school year's just now started. So I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do now. Now I'm getting kicked out of my aunt's house. I can't go back with my mom because like at this point, I don't really want to live with my mom, because still I know my mom's a crackhead, and if I go back to live with my mom, it's just going to be a bunch of bullshit. So I'm like, fuck, now what am I going to do? So I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to sleep. So I go lay down in the bed, and I'm going to sleep, and then my Uncle Junior walks in the room like a little bitch he is, and he's like, Mario, I'm gonna need you to give me the keys back to the car. Judy said I gotta take the keys back to the car. I'm like, why don't you go tell Judy to shut the fuck up once in a while, Junior? Why don't you ever take charge around here, like, ever? So I'm like, whatever, Junior, take the keys. I'm like pissed off at him too. I'm like, whatever, here are the fucking keys. And then he takes them and then shuts the door. And I'm thinking at this point, all right, fuck this place. I'm never coming back. I'm fucking waking up and I'm leaving. So we go to sleep. I wake up, I grab some outfits, and then I call my friend, and I'm like, hey, I'm getting kicked out. Can you come pick me up for school? He's like, yeah, I got you, bro. So he shows up to pick me up. And one of my cousins decides to go out to the car with me. So we're both walking out to the car. I get into the car. And as my other cousin's about to get into the car, my friend that was picking me up was like, dude, what are you doing? I ain't picking you up. I'm here to pick up Mario, not you. Get the fuck out. And he made him get out of his car and then go back to the garage and wait for a different ride. I'm like, oh, that's pretty badass. I mean, I did kind of feel bad for my cousin, but at the same time, I'm like, wow. It's actually cool that this guy's here for me and not somebody else. He's here to pick me up, and he's like my friend, you know what I mean? Like, it felt cool that somebody had my back. We finally get to school, and we go into the cafeteria, and we're eating breakfast with like 5 other people. that are on the soccer team, and I'm telling them, yeah, I got kicked out. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. I got like 2 outfits with me. I don't want to go back to Judy's tonight because I don't even know if I can be there. And if I do go back, it's gonna be a huge fight and a war. My friend Sean was like, dude, you can just live with me. He's like, I call my mom right now. She'll let you live with us. And I'm like, why would she do that? And I knew Sean for a long time. I had met him at, church camps. We had soccer stuff together. So it's not like we didn't know each other. I knew his mom and knew his dad. They knew who I was. But I didn't like really hang out with them that much. We did live like 1 street away from each other. So in Judy's house, I could almost throw a rock and hit his house on the other side of the street. We never really hung out that much. It was probably like a handful of times we actually hung out. He's like, yeah, bro, I'll call my mom and we'll figure it out. So I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, meet me after school and we'll call my mom. I was like, no way. Why would he want to do that for me? That's cool. So now I feel at least a little good that somebody's gonna try. I meet up with him after school and we call his mom. And he's like, hey, Mario just got kicked out of his house and he doesn't know where to go. So can he just live with us? And she was like, that's probably like a weird call to get. Can another kid just move in with us for no reason, And it's like, what happened? He's just like, yeah, Judy kicked him out. She was acting crazy and then kicked him out. And she was like, well, I guess if he wants to come over tonight, we can figure it out and see what's going on. So then, well, okay, cool. So at least I can go over there and maybe kind of see what's going on. We leave the school and go to soccer practice. And I guess his mom had gotten a hold of my aunt and was like, hey, what's going on with this whole situation? And who knows what Judy told her, but I'm pretty sure it was like bullshit. Like she was like, oh, here's a warning. Mario's fucked up and he'll start stealing from you and start doing all this crazy shit. But even his mom didn't really care that much. She was just trying to figure out what was going on. We're leaving soccer practice and then Sean gets a phone call. He's like, do you know who this is? I was like, oh my God, that's my aunt. She's calling my friend Sean's cell phone right now. And she's telling Sean, yeah, did I tell you? I slapped him. Like she's actually on the phone telling Sean about how she just slapped me the night before. Like she can't get over the fact that she just slapped me. She's like, she got off on the fact that she slapped me. And then he ends up getting off the phone and I'm like, well, fuck, now I don't know what to do. How am I gonna get my shit? We're like, all right, well, we're not gonna go to Judy's house. We're just gonna go straight back to his house and figure out what to do from there. So we go back to his house. We walk in the door and we're in the kitchen now. It was his mom and his dad were both there. And I walk in the kitchen and they're like, so Mario, like, what happened? Why'd you get kicked out? And I told them the whole story. Like they said I'm stealing $5 and I didn't steal $5. Like I work at McDonald's. I have my own money, which isn't a lot of money, but when you're in high school and everything's already paid for, your rent, your food, your medical bills and all that, you don't need money. So all the money I have from McDonald's is all the money I need. I'm like, I don't need her $5. I've got my own $5. What do I need $5 for anyway? I remember the very first thing out of his dad's mouth. Like he was, looking at me, I'm making eye contact with me, listening to what I'm saying. And then as I'm done talking, he like looks over at his wife, it's Sean's mom, and looks back over at me. He's like, well, if you're gonna be staying here, then we're gonna have to get you a room set up. I'm like, holy shit, it's that fast? Like, I just got here like 2 minutes ago and you're down to let me move in? Like, this is actually blowing my fucking mind right now. Nobody's ever really been like this. It's always like, what are we gonna do with these kids, man? These kids gotta go. We gotta figure out something to do with these kids. Let the state take them kids, put them in a foster home, send them to Lisa, send them to whoever. Just get them out of here. So it's just kind of crazy because I'm 18 now. I just turned 18. I'm a senior in high school. And they're like, yeah, you can move in here. And they actually got me a room set up within like the day. Like the next day, they had a bed in a room and everything ready for me to go. It was my own room. It was like, oh my God, this is next level shit. You guys are like the fucking best. But at this point, like I still have to go get all my stuff. I only brought like probably 2 changes of clothes and all my stuff is still at Judy's house. And I'm like, oh God, I can't go back over there. Because now they know this is my last time ever gonna be even coming over there. I'm never coming back ever again, especially when I don't have to. Like I don't have to come over here. I'm never coming back over here again. At least before I moved in, I liked going over there. We had the pool, we could all swim and hang out. Judy wasn't that much of a bitch. But now that I lived there for 3 years, I'm like, I never want to come back to this hell ever again. And they know that. Judy knows that in particular. So she's going to be going all out the whole time I'm over there. And I know this. So I'm like, Sean, you got to come inside the house with me, bro. You can't just take me over there. I need you to come in the house with me to fucking basically protect me. Because I know they're going to be going crazy and I don't want to be going as crazy. And if you're there, it might help. It didn't help. My aunt don't give a fuck anymore, bro. She knows it's the last time I'm over there. So we walk in the house and the first thing she says, okay, actually, let me stop here. I gotta paint a little bit of context. Right after I moved out of my aunt's house, I had pretty much dropped out of all the good classes I was in. I was in like several of the smart classes, like the upper level, like math classes and shit like that, and science. And I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to do this shit no more. I feel stupid in here anyway. I don't even like being in these classes. I want to do other shit. The only reason I'm even in these classes is because I think it might make Judy happy that I'm in the smart classes, even though she still thinks I'm stupid. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm out of her house. I'm dropping out of all these classes. So I dropped out of multiple classes and went to new classes. And in one of these new classes was my cousin's ex-girlfriend. And we all knew each other. It's not like we didn't know each other, but I knew it was his ex-girlfriend, so I was like, oh, I remember you. What's up? And then we start talking, and then over the next week or two, we just keep talking and writing notes and whatever, and then we start dating at some point. I don't remember if we had started dating at that point when I went to Judy's to get my stuff, but either way, everybody knew that I was talking to his ex-girlfriend. So that's the context right before I get to Judy's house. And it's funny because like we've talked about all this like years later and nobody even cares, but it's funny that like even he didn't even care really then, but he told my aunt because now everybody hates me in the house because everybody's talking about me all day because I still haven't even came and got my shit. So if you have something to use against me, it makes you look good. And I know this sounds crazy, like, I know it sounds like actually crazy what I'm even saying right now, like this is some sort of psychological warfare going on in this house, but that literally that's what it was. So he was like, I got something. I could say, Mara's trying to date my ex-girlfriend, and then he told her. And then he didn't even care though. Like that's the thing, we'd all talked about this, he didn't even give a fuck. But Judy did, that's the fucking thing, Judy cared. So there's the context. I walk in the house, Sean's with me, and Judy sees me, the first thing out of her mouth, what, Mario? You can't get your own girlfriend? You gotta go take other people's girlfriends? What, Mario? What, you wanna be just like your mother? Now she's on about the mother thing. She just can't stop saying all the shit that she's always been saying, and now it's all just coming out like a WWE catchphrase. She's like bing, bing, bing. She just can't stop them coming. All the one-liners are coming out. She just can't stop saying them. And I'm now in the closet trying to get all my stuff out, and Sean's here the whole time. He's just watching this all go down, and he's like, his eyes are like kind of big. He's like, what the fuck? But he's not saying anything. He's just kind of witnessing what's going on. We're all in the one bedroom because we have clothes in multiple bedrooms. So I'm in one of the bedrooms now getting my clothes because at this point, I don't really have clothes. Judy pretty much let everybody share clothes. And then when I wanted to move out, she only let me take like a few outfits. It wasn't like I could just go get what was mine because nothing was mine. It was everybody. So when I'm in there taking my clothes, she's like, no, Mario, you can't take that shirt. You could take 2 shirts, you could take 2 shorts, you could take 2 pants, you could take this, and you could take that. And that's all. You can't take any more than that. Even though I'm sure, like, some of the shit is mine. Like, what the fuck? Like, I bought some of this with my money that the government gave me, I'm sure. So, like, what the fuck are we on about? But that's how it was. She was like, you can only take this, you can only take that. And then, like, we're in the one bedroom, and there's like 6 people in the bedroom watching me do all this shit. Just, like, staring at me, trying to go through the room. And the bedroom isn't even... I'd probably say it's about the same size as this room. It's not that big, and you got 5 people just staring at you in a closet trying to get shit out of it, dude. I felt so weird. It was like, this is fucked up, and I just felt like the pressure of it just building up. And I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. So I finally get all my shit together, and I'm leaving the house, and Judy's still on about, you're gonna be just like your mother. You're gonna be just like your mother. And then as I'm getting my shoes on, leaving the porch, I'm like, well, I'd rather be like her than you. And then like my uncle like lunges at me or something. Somebody lunges at me, and then I just like walk off. And they were all like, you know, chirping right as I left the whole time. They just chirping, saying shit. And I get in the car, and then I drive off, and Sean was like, dude, holy shit. What the fuck was that? Like, is that how it is every day? I'm like, that's how it's been for the last 1,500 days. Like, every single day. It's a fucking mind game. But thank God, man, he saved me. I got the fuck out of there, and I moved out, and I never went back. But, you know, Judy, she don't like that. She don't like that. She lost, and I won, and I got to leave. So, it's not over with her. The war has just now begun. So now I'm living with Sean full time. I got my own room. Everything is going relatively normally until one day we go to school and we find out my cousin is spreading rumors about me. He went into the band class because he is in like band, and he went all around the band people and was telling them, hey, did you know Mario has hep C? Because his ex-girlfriend was in band. So he was hoping, oh, if I tell people he has hep C that it might get around, then she might break up with him or whatever. Stop talking to him because he's gross. And it was like, why the fuck would he even do that? Oh, wait, that's right, because my Aunt Judy told him to fucking do it. She, you know, knows about this whole girlfriend situation, so she says, hey, I want you to go to school and tell everybody he has hep C. So that's what he does. He goes to school and tells people in the band, hey, Mario's got hep C. Be sure to tell everybody. At this point, I'm still a virgin. I've never even had sex. I never even really messed around with any girls. So it's like, where did I get a sexual disease, Judy? But she just wants me to feel so bad and so small and have nobody that she's like, all right, tell people he's got hep C and I don't care what happens. And it's crazy because, like, all my friends knew this was total bullshit. They know I'm a virgin, they know Judy's a fucking psycho bitch, and they know they're all, like, you know, plotting against me, basically. But the band kids really didn't like me, so they were like, fuck Mario, man, we're gonna tell everybody he's got this and, you know, fuck with him and do all this shit. And what the craziest thing was is that the soccer kids and the band kids, like, we all had one big lunch table. Like, you know how those long-ass lunch tables are in cafeterias and, like, a bunch of people could sit at them? We would sit all the way at one end of the table, and they would sit all the way at the other end of the table. But, like, we'd all be saying shit back and forth, throwing food at each other and just talking shit all the time. And then, like, my friends would always be getting up and going over there like, what? Say something, motherfucker, say something. Because I never wanted to stick up for myself. I was, like, a bitch. But they weren't. They were like, yo, I'll stick up for you right now. So they wanted to always go and fight these fucking band kids, and the band kids always wanted to fight the soccer kids. And it was literally a war going on between like a certain sector of the band and a certain sector of the soccer kids, because it wasn't like everybody, but it was like certain little factions in here that were just going at it. All because of my Aunt Judy. Like, my cousins, like, didn't really care. Like, none of this was really something we cared to deal with. It was all Judy's doing. She said, go to school and you're gonna do this. And if you don't fucking listen to Judy, you're gonna be fucked. So you better do everything she says, because what she's gonna do is ask everybody else, hey, did you hear at school that Mario has Hep C? Because if you didn't, then I know that he didn't listen to me and go to school and tell people that stuff, because she was a fucking lunatic. Like, the amount of fights, like real fights, that almost went down because people were in each other's face about to start swinging. Like, the amount of times that happened was so unreal. All because my 60-year-old aunt wanted to fucking play in high school drama. It was fucking insane. You can't even make this shit up. It's just fuck. I mean, like, how does a 60-year-old lady, like, get involved with this type of shit? And to be honest, like, that pretty much lasted my whole senior year. Like, pretty much, like, nobody ever just gave in. Like, you just said, fuck it, we're gonna let Mario live his life. It was like, let's fuck with Mario every day for his whole senior year. And they pretty much did. But I still had friends. Like, I had a pretty good time. Like, other than the fucking shit that was going on there, like, my friends knew who I was and they were cool, so it wasn't, like, weird. It was just kind of bizarre, kind of dealing with that my whole senior year. But things eventually kind of chilled out. I did really enjoy living at Sean's house. That was pretty much the best year of my whole life. Like, I'll never look back at that year and not remember it as the best year of my life, because truly it was. His parents were so nice and just not loud. Like, I don't remember a single time where either one of his parents even raised their voice. Like, I've probably gotten louder in this podcast than they got to me ever, or even him. They never belittled me or made me feel like, you know, I wasn't welcome there. They always welcomed me in. They were like, you know, we're going to Thanksgiving, we're going to Christmas, you want to come, we'd like you to come, you know. They always wanted me to be there. They never felt weird. They always took me to their church, had me sit by them, and they all went to church. It wasn't like, you know, we were getting forced to go to church. They were like, hey, we want you to come to church with us. So, you know, I went, and it was totally fine. It wasn't weird or anything. I remember one time his mom even let us skip school one day. I guess he got to skip school one day a year. So one day we woke up and it was that day. And she's like, hey, it's that day. You guys can skip school this year. I left some money on the table for pizza. It's like a movie, like literally. She was like, you guys can skip school. Here's money on the table for pizza, and I'm out of here. And she went to work, and we just got to stay home that day and order pizza. It was like, what? And we're not even getting in trouble? Like, what the fuck? This is crazy. This is wild. I can't believe you get to live like this. It felt like heaven over there. Because like I said, you know, like my whole life, I don't really get to relax. I just always am in like trouble, or it's fight or flight, or we gotta move, or, you know, mom's going to jail, or mom's smoking crack, or she's screaming or slamming doors, or I gotta go to my sister's, or, you know, something's always happening. But at this house, it was just like peaceful, just relaxing, you know. His parents are professionals. They're always at work. They're actually doing things with their life. They're not on drugs. They go to church. They're actually good Christian people. They're not like the Christian people that are like, you know, fake as fuck. Like, they actually treated me like I was one of them, like I was part of the family. Like, when I moved in, you know, they got me a bed so fast. They got me a dresser. Like, everything that a bedroom needed, I had it within a day. It was crazy. I remember sleeping in that room with my boombox on all night. Every single night I'd go to sleep, I had that big boombox still. I still had it right next to me on the nightstand next to my bed. And I'd be playing CDs in it all night. Just emo shit, you know, Dashboard Confessional, Boys Like Girls, Rookie of the Year, just all the emo shit. It was a good time, but I do remember being sad all the time. Like, I was a pretty emo kid, you know. I was dealing with it, but I didn't really know that I was dealing with it. I just was dealing with it. So I listened to this music that would sometimes make me feel better, but it's weird because emo music just kind of makes you feel worse, and then I just kind of listen to it, but, you know. Well, whatever. Either way, that's what I would do at night, listen to that shit. But I felt really comfortable here. I just felt good. I didn't feel weird. I didn't feel out of place. Like, it was just overall like a super relaxed environment. And it was like I never got in trouble. I never got in trouble, and he never got in trouble. I didn't change and stop doing all the shit I was doing. I just was still the same person. I'm still doing the same shit. But I'm just never getting in trouble anymore. I don't get screamed at anymore. I don't get hit anymore. I don't get grounded anymore. Like, I just don't get in trouble anymore. So what changed between the first, like, you know, 3 years I'm at Judy's house and then now? Nothing. The parents, the attitude, the whole fucking vibe changed. Like, when you're not being mentally tormented every day, you can sit back and breathe a little bit and have a little bit of a good time. And that's how it was living at Sean's house. It was just a good old time. And at this house, I actually got to keep my government check because once I moved out, Judy was still getting my government check like when I moved over there. So all the money that was going to my mom, now I got sent to my aunt. And now that I moved out, that money got sent directly to me. And then they just let me have the checks. They were like, well, listen, we already got the money. We make decent money. We're not going to keep your money, so you can just have your money. So they just let me keep the check every month. And that's how I figured out how much I was getting, because it was like I was getting $550 a month every month that I lived in their house for free from the government until I graduated. So I was able to live a pretty good life over there. I'm buying way nicer clothes. I have my own clothes now that I have my own money. I'm getting to go to the movies and just have a good time as a teenager, and I'm not getting fucking screamed at all the time. And it wasn't like a finances issue. It wasn't like my aunt and uncle were poor and these people are rich. Like, my aunt and uncle were fine. They weren't rich, but they were fine. These people had some money. Like, they were very high tier professional people. So I can understand why some people might think, oh, well, they have a lot of money. It's easier for them to, not care about your money, and it's easier for them to have a better attitude. But it's not really. It was like their whole attitude was just different. Like, they were just good people. Like, people that you're supposed to act like when you're good parents, like when you're actually a good person. Like, that's how they were. And you don't need money to do that shit. I was just overall happy to be there. I'm not gonna keep ranting on about how happy I was to be there, but like, I'm just letting y'all know it was a good time. I had no problem being over there. It was a fucking blast. Out of nowhere, I get a random MySpace message back when MySpace was popping. It's a random message from one of my cousins out in Washington. It's one of Judy's kids, but he's older and he's already moved out and been on with his life, so he lives out there in Washington. And he shoots me a message and he says, "You're my hero." I'm like, what the fuck? Because this guy was a weirdo. So I never really talked to him anyway, but he just messaged me and said, "You're my hero." I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he says, "Oh, you didn't hear?" I was like, "Hear about what?" "Your mom's in the hospital." I'm like, what the fuck? Why is she in the hospital? "She lost her leg." They didn't tell you they cut off her leg? They took her leg? I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? So I'm like, well, that's kind of fucked up. Now I know my mom's in the hospital and doesn't have a leg, apparently. So I go upstairs and I tell Sean's parents, my mom's in the hospital and apparently she lost her leg. Could we go see her up there? And they were like, "Oh yeah, of course we can go see her." "What?" "Yeah, let's go up there." And then we went up there to see her. And it's crazy because if I would have asked my aunt and uncle, "Hey, my mom's in the hospital," it may have been a fight. It may have been like, "Oh, well, it's not fair that you guys get to go see your mom in the hospital and have all these good times. We have to come back and beat the shit out of you and scream at you in your face." But just like normal people, they were like, "Yeah, we'll take you up there. No problem. See your mom." So they took me up there and we go in the hospital and we're, in the hallway, and then we're right by the door where we're about to go in. They were like, "All right, we ain't going in there. You can go in there right now. It's your mom. We'll stay out here." So I go in and I'm sitting in front of my mom's bed. Like, she's on the far side. There's nobody else in the room. She's on the far side by the window. And I walk in and I'm standing at the end of her bed, at the foot of her bed, just kind of staring at her, looking down at her. And I was like, damn, that looks fucked up. And I don't really see that she's missing a leg yet, but I'm just like, wow, can't believe she's here missing a leg. And then she's still asleep. And then she opens her eyes. She's like, "Son, is that you?" It's like she probably felt like she just fucking died and I'm like an angel and I'm their son and I'm there to fucking welcome her to heaven or some shit. Because she hadn't seen me in a I don't know when the last time I even saw her was, to be honest. So she wakes up in like some sort of fever dream. It's like, what the fuck? Why is my son in my room right now? And I don't have a leg. So then she literally shows me like, yeah, they fucking took my leg. I had blood clots. All the years of crack use and botched surgeries that from her fucking blood clots, because the doctors that worked on her for years fucked her leg up. But it all started with the crack and the drugs, because she started having blood clots. And she lost her leg, and that was how it was. I walked in, she ain't got no leg. I'm like, this is fucking crazy, dude. And then the people that were taking care of me, Sean's parents, they walk in, they introduce themselves like, "Hey, we're so-and-so, and we're taking care of Mario right now while he finishes out high school." And she's like, very happy about that. And then whenever we're leaving, I remember the comment she made. She said, "Please take care of my son." And it just kind of floored me, because even then I'm thinking you could be taking care of your son, but you chose drugs and men, and you didn't choose your kid. So it's kind of funny that you're like, "Please take care of my son." It's like, why don't you take care of your son? And why didn't you take care of your son? So it's just I don't know, ironic. I mean, I understand the sentiment. She wants her kid to be taken care of, but if she really wanted her kid to be taken care of, she could have done it herself, So that year I spent the holidays with my mom. They didn't feel bad about that at all. They were like, "Yeah, if you want to go spend Thanksgiving and Christmas with your mom, that's cool." I did still have holidays with them too, but I had my own holidays with my mom too, and they didn't feel bad about that. They helped me actually quite a bit, set it all up with the Thanksgiving food and all that stuff, because my mom had no money. She had no food. She had nothing. So I helped her go out and, set all that up. I don't think my sister was there that year, because at this point, my sister's living with my mom, and I don't even want to know what she's dealing with, She's dealing with some fucked up shit, so she's probably not even there. But I come over and make her food. We have a good time. And then I still go through the school year, and I'm finishing up school. Things are going well. I have no complaints. These people are just the best. I can't believe I'm even able to live here. And then it's time for me to graduate. May 2008, the very last day being in high school, Madame Lindemann's French class, 7th hour. I'll never forget it. The bell rings, the very last bell I ever heard in school, and I get up out of my desk and I just sprint out of the room and sprint as fast as I can down the hallway. And everybody's coming out of the room, they're like, what the hell is he doing, fucking weirdo? And I just sprint out of the fucking door and I'm so excited. I'm graduated. But why am I excited? I have no idea, because now I'm like kind of scared. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? There's like, because at least when you go to school, you have to go to school. It's like, okay, I have to be here and I know I'm gonna be here until this time, and now the time's over. What am I gonna do now? I'm kind of doing whatever. I'm kind of working at this music venue that's local. I'm trying to figure out how to, book shows and promote shows and stuff like that. And my friend Sean at this point goes to summer camp. It's like June, early June, late May. It's after graduation, all the things are over. He goes to summer camp with his mom, and then it's just me and his dad at the house. And then I'm having his dad drop me off, because I don't have a car at this point. I'm having his dad drop me off at the venue I'm working at. So his dad takes me to drop me off at the venue the last time, and he's parking in front of the place, and I'm about to walk out, and I'm about to get out and walk down to the venue. And he's like, yeah, we need to talk. And he's like, we let you live here your whole senior year. We let you finish out high school, and we supported you through all that. But there's another kid that needs a little help, kind of like what you did. And so we're going to let him stay in your room, and we're going to need you to be gone, pretty much. So it was time to go. And I didn't really feel too good about that, I'm not going to lie, because I didn't know when my time was coming. I knew at some point they're probably going to ask me to leave, but I didn't know when that was going to happen, because I didn't know what I'm supposed to do, Now I'm in the real world. I'm supposed to be living the real life, and I don't know what that fucking means. Am I supposed to go to college, get a job, have a career of some sort? What am I supposed to do? And it's time for me to go. So I get out of the car and walk up to the venue. I'm like, fuck, now what am I going to do? Where am I going to live at? What am I going to do? So then I just felt really awkward. I didn't even want to go back to the house, because I'm like, now I feel really unwanted there, even though they never made me feel that way up until right now. I feel this way. I feel like I don't even want to go back. I don't want to be there. So I didn't go back really that much after that. I was probably gone within the next week or two, and I would talk to my Uncle Philip, and I'd be like, listen, man, I'm getting kicked out of this house I'm in. I don't have a car. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then he helps me get a car. They had a car they were selling, so they figured out some loan with the bank, and they helped me get a loan, and then they sold me the car, so I have a car. And then I went over to Sean's house for the last time. I don't know if he was back from summer camp or not, but I remember his parents were both there, and I go up there and get my stuff, and then they come out and they see I have a new car, and they're like, wow, that's cool, good thing you got a car or whatever. I'm like, I probably said thank you for letting me stay there. I probably wasn't too in depth, because I don't know what to say. I'm really awkward. Even right now, I'm really awkward with that type of shit. And so I probably didn't say a whole lot, but I probably said thank you for letting me stay here, but whatever. And then I put my shit in the car and drove off. My mom is just sitting there, basically a vegetable, like she was dead. We are here at the Brown Chapel Cemetery where my parents are buried. He happened to be one of the EMTs that was there the day my dad killed himself, and I just shook my head at her. It was just like, damn, what a sad sight. Mom, why don't you go get a job with the IHOP? I literally haven't been out here since the funeral for my mom. My mom died on the table right in front of us. I love Sandy, she was a good person, and this and that, and yada yada. And then I start crying, because I'm looking at my mom, and she's in this casket. My parents in the ground. I swear to God, my computer just said penis.